It's time to call the meeting to order, the July 28th Board of Directors meeting for the Costa Mesa Sanitary District. And I would invite everyone who is able to stand to join in the salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Vice President Uten from Manistee, Michigan.
Okay. God grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
Okay, could we have a roll call, please, Madam Clerk?
Sure. Director Nicole Wiltshire. Here. Vice Secretary Arlene Schaefer. Secretary Arthur Perry.
Here.
Vice President Robert Uten.
Here.
President Mike Schaefer.
Here, thank you. And just to note that Assistant Secretary Schaefer has an excused absence for this evening. Late communications? Anything? And no ceremonial matters this evening. Which takes us to public comments. The time for persons in the audience to make comments on subject matter within the purview of the sanitary district, but not listed on the agenda. We have one request from Sue Lester. Sue?
Good afternoon, everyone. I actually just wanted to come and thank Director Schaefer for her 50 plus years of service to our community in many capacities, in addition to the sanitary district as well as the city of Costa Mesa. I have a lot of gratitude for people who take on the role of service and actually do it. And she did. I also have a lot of respect and appreciation for those that decide when it's time for them to move on and do something else, that they remove themselves if that's what's best for them. And so I just really wanted to thank her and wish her well and let her know that I know I can speak on behalf of a lot of people when I say that she'll be missed, and we just appreciate everything that I appreciate me and, you know, the mouse in my pocket and all the other people. Appreciate all of her contributions to the city that we all call home. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Well said. And I think we all share in your sentiment. I've known Arlene since I was a little kid because she worked with my dad, and I appreciate your comments like that. She will be sorely missed, that's for sure. Okay. Consent calendar, any items from the consent calendar anybody wishes to staff or board to pull? Seeing no one or no requests, we'll take a motion to accept.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
You can figure out who.
Got it.
Discussion. With the participation of a rote member, we are going to be taking roll call votes on any item that needs a vote. So, Madam Clerk.
Director Wiltshire. What are we doing? Sorry.
When there's someone virtual, we have to do a roll call
Oh,
vote.
here.
Oh.
No,
Aye.
Sorry.
Secretary Perry.
Yes.
Vice President Uten.
Here. Yes.
President Schaefer.
Yes.
4 ayes, no nays.
Thank you. All right. Let's move then now to the general manager's report with no public hearings. So, Scott.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This is just your standard report on our 2025 performance measurement report. This is for the second quarter on a calendar year from January through June. So this is data that we obtain from January through June, and then we evaluate that data to determine if it achieved our benchmarks or not. If it hasn't, then we get together and discuss why it wasn't achieved and discuss how we can improve on our services. So this is the report we present to the board every 3 months. So again, this is your second quarter for 2025, and happy to answer any questions you may have.
Is there anything that you want to point out in particular or that stands out to you
Yeah.
or anybody from staff for that matter?
No, there was, as far as reviewing and approving permits, the goal is to achieve that 9 days, to get those comments back within 9 days. We're doing it in 5 days, so I'm very pleased with that. That's definitely shown some efficiencies. As far as Public Request Acts, as you know, when we get a Public Records Request Act, we have legally 10 days to respond with the documents. We're doing that less than 4 days. So I think that's very good. On the areas obviously we need improvement on, obviously we had two sewer spills so far this year, unfortunately. So that puts us over the Region 8 average of SSOs per 100 miles. That's unfortunate. Also, we noticed we also taking a little more time cleaning hotspots. Those are areas that require more frequency cleaning. And the reason why it was taking us more than 2 hours per hotspot because we're seeing a lot of grease in the system. And so myself, our district engineer, and our wastewater manager, we're meeting on a quarterly basis to address those issues to hopefully we can see less grease in our system. So those are some of the highlights of our performance measurement program.
Ask a question. Is there any specific area you're referring to for those grease spots that we know of?
I know by the camp area is one area. Yeah, that's it. And we're also seeing unfortunately a lot of grease in Southwest Plaza. So we're meeting with their staff and restaurants to cut down on the grease accumulations and make sure they're following through on their best management practices. Yeah, Triangle Square is another.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that because of new restaurants going in, do you think? In a couple of those locations?
It could be, yeah, it could be. I think at one time they were having issues with their grease interceptor, the
Yeah.
trap. So we were making sure that it was repaired and they're doing the regular cleaning and doing the proper best management practices.
I had just on page 12 and 13, when it came to 12 and 14, it says that in the first quarter or the second quarter, 83% of the missed collections were being taken care of in one day. Does that tell me that 17% are not being taken care of in one day? Page 12 of your report.
That's correct. Yes.
So
So you're saying 17% are not, they're taking longer than 1 day to collect missed collections.
do we have any idea how many days it's
I
taking?
don't have that top of my head. I can get that to you later.
I'd be curious to see if it's not 1 day, is it 2 days? You know, is it's over a weekend or something? You know what I mean? And then the other part of that was on page 14, trash cart replacement. 52% are being done within 7 business days.
Yes, that was a disappointment in that data. And I believe it's explained in that staff report. 33% of the replacements occurring more than 8 days. It was due to size exchange, different size. So they wanted a different size, whether they have a 90
Yeah.
gallons to 60 gallons. Maybe that cart wasn't available. That could be an issue.
Seems to me, I've noticed on my collection day, a box truck from CR&R will go through. So I wonder if they're waiting until the next collection day to make the changes rather than
Could be.
within the week. So if you can get some clarification,
Yeah, if we're seeing that a trend, we'll definitely address it.
it just, yeah,
We want to make sure we're within our outcome of 7 days.
right. Okay. All right. Any other questions for staff? All right, that's receive and file. Bob, any questions on that?
No.
Okay.
No, sometimes, you know, or oftentimes, you know, when we, I think that there was one item in that report that, I probably need to talk to Scott. The gist of it is, if we report quarterly data, the rest of the data is annual data. So what I was going to suggest is, maybe we use dots, you know, as the quarters progress and we report, they build up to the annual data. But it's confusing when, you know, if we report 6 months data, you know, we show this dramatic drop. When it's actually explained, and if people read it closely, you know, it is a data point, but I would rather not see the line go down to that data point anyway.
Yeah, you're looking for more of a cumulative report
Yeah,
instead of a
ma-
specific time frame.
well, we report quarterly data, so when you report quarterly data, against annual data, you know, it shows a tremendous drop. And it looks like we're not doing what we need to do. So anyway,
Okay.
maybe just dots that build up to the annual thing each year or each quarter, you know, and not put the line in there that goes from the annual data historically to, you know, the quarterly data, the 6 month data. And, you know, it comes out all right. But it's not
makes
how
sense.
I would report it.
He's asking, I can revise reports for the next.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's-
I mean,
I know what he's asking.
Thanks, Bob. Good suggestion. Okay, item 2, Scott?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. So back in 2021, the Board of Directors approved an agreement with Acorn Technology Services to manage our IT system. And that 3-year agreement, or actually 1 year, surpassed my authority to approve the agreement. That's why I went to the Board of Directors for approval. So it was a 3-year contract with 2 1-year extension options. The board did not give the general manager authority to approve those extensions. Unfortunately, when the agreement came to on my desk, I did not remember that, and I went ahead and signed the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, which was against policy, and I apologize for that. So, bringing this to your attention tonight, that amendments, the First and Second Amendment, need to be ratified or approved by the board.
Is there any increase in what we owe them?
There was increases, yes, there was increases in both the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. There was an increase. I think it's in your staff report. But both the First and the Second Amendment, again, it was above my threshold to approve it.
That the 148,000 amount?
you probably said in the staff report, is it 120, you have 125,000.
It's my threshold. It's a threshold.
Yeah.
Anything below 125,000, I'm authorized to approve.
Yeah.
And so this was like $150,000
148 something. Is that for the 2 years
for 1 year.
or 1 year?
Yes.
I think overall, I mean, the mistake, okay, and we can deal, that's not horrific. Overall, Acorn's done a really good job. I think from what my needs are, and you guys are dealing with it on a daily basis. It's really, you guys handle it, Jeannie, you handle it, especially if you take care of our requests. Chloe is fantastic. She speaks English to me, right? Not IT or whatever that language is. So I'm okay with, and I will support this. I don't think there's a problem, but just, you can pass on to them my thoughts. They're everything I've seen, they seem to be, you know, unless you guys tell me different, I'm happy.
We need action on this one. We do need action on this one, Mr. President.
Yeah. So you want
I-
for a motion to approve amendment 1 and 2, correct?
Yes.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second discussion. Roll. You caught me just in time before I called her, but yes, you may. Up here.
Obviously, you're getting ready to vote on it, and my question is a hypothetical, perhaps. If you guys decided not to vote to approve, how would you handle that?
We'd be asking them to come up with a new agreement, I assume, but Alan, you want to handle?
Yeah, the contractor deals with a public entity, subject to the authority and is charged with knowing the limits of the authority. So we could disavow the contract and they'd be out of luck.
We'd be looking for a new contract.
Oh, okay, so they should have known that it needed a vote.
The law says they should have known.
Oh, okay, no, perfect,
We
that's
should-
good to know. I'm like,
No, we should have known in here.
right, but no one's perfect and things happen. I was just curious, like, what kind of position that would put the district in if you decided not to move forward, which
We'd have a gap in
sounds like you
IT
probably will.
support.
So, okay, that's all I want.
Good question. Thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second. I'll ask for the vote, please.
Director Wiltshire.
Yes.
Aye. Secretary Perry.
Yes.
Vice President Uten.
Yes.
President Schaefer.
Yes,
4 ayes, no nays. Motion carries.
thank you. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for, thanks for fessing up.
I have a question or
Go
a
ahead.
comment. Do you think the amount that you're available to sign without our approval should be adjusted?
I was gonna ask it.
Well, we brought this back before in the past, and we had some members of the public were against that, and the board sided with the public. So if you want me to bring back, we're looking at increasing my threshold, I can do that if that's your pleasure.
How often does that come into play, the amount?
It depends on when the Uniform Construction, Public Construction Act, they have a threshold, and they usually amend those thresholds. It's, I think right now it's $175,000, I believe. It's increased substantially since the last time the board has.
Could you research that and then bring it back to us with a suggestion? Sure. I think that'd be a smart way to go.
With increased costs and the way things are going, I don't know when we amended, or I'm not sure when we established it at 100.25, but it has to be several years ago.
It's been more about 10 years. more than 10
Yeah,
years.
That's what I thought.
let's be realistic on what the market put. And it's similar to an inflation cost or a construction cost index that they do reports on every year. You're gonna see that. So I think we need to take a look at this on an annual basis.
Very good, thanks.
Okay, let's move to Mr. Esker.
Thank you, Honorable Board, Directors. And I would support your question about whether that should be raised or not, that dollar amount, that threshold amount should be raised. I was chatting with our general manager about the threshold amounts when I was asking a few months back when I asked to have several of the different thresholds increased, and he and I agreed at that time that maybe we shouldn't. But I'm glad that we're taking another look at that, and I'll work with Scott because I had some information on how many contracts would,
Yeah.
how many wouldn't have been gone to you if it was that amount. But to my report, I've got about 5 projects I'll just touch on real quick. Eldon Forest Main, we just received a 60% design submittal. I'll be sending that to the city shortly, and then in about a week or so, I'll be meeting with them to review the project a second time. We are also working with a state of California contractor on the, you probably saw Scott's newsletter on Friday, but we're working with a state contractor on the board or grant application. And so our consultant in the district are feverishly pulling information together in order to meet an August deadline on that project. Eldon Odor is about 99.9% complete. I have I have a stoop to pour in front of the new door, and basically we'll be done at that point in time. The scrubber has been started up, it's been adjusted, and I think, it seems to be working very, very well right now. It's, I haven't had any complaints from the neighborhood nor the golf course at this point in time. Along with the sister project is the Eldon fan improvement. That one's essentially complete. Probably next month, I'll be working with our general manager and our board, depending on dollar amounts, to do the closeout agreements and the closeout notice for that project. The 349 Mendoza Force Main and Rehab Project, I call it 349A Mendoza Sewer Extension. We went, in 9 weeks, we went from understanding that we had a conflict with the city till construction was completed this past Monday, the 22nd, I think it is. That bid amount, the winning bid amount was $123,349. I ended up having about a $700 or $800 change order due to an unknown situation that occurred. And so we handled that, and the project's done, and I'll be we'll potentially be bringing completion documents to the board of directors or general manager. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on was tonight I'll be touching on the Harbor Irvine Pump Station electrical improvements as my next item. With that, are there any questions on my report to the board of directors?
How did we do with our little car accident involving Eldon?
I don't have the final tally, but I believe it's going to be somewhere between $20,000 and $25,000 to get all the work done. I'm working with John Gonzalez, the wastewater manager. We're going to take the air vac valve from inventory, put it on the new, we had to repair the 2-inch pipeline that tied into our force main. That work's complete. We'll bolt on the new air vac, and we'll have to order a new cover for it. That hasn't been done yet. And then the metal beam guardrail, when the car pulled in the metal beam guardrail, it grazed the control panel, and a second contractor was hired to straighten and redo the hinges and get it from, I guess, rhombus shape or whatever you want to call it, back to a rectangle. So it's all put back together. I think we're basically going to be done with that, but I think the cost will be between $20,000 and $25,000.
Have we noticed the perpetrator's insurance company yet? You know, is that still working?
Scott, you want to take that one?
Have no insurance. In fact,
He was uninsured.
uninsured and she had no driver's license.
No.
And she was still allowed to drive or, go home.
So we were going to submit a claim to SDRMA and estimate it's up to them to go after the.
Well, the term is uninsured property damage. That's the coverage line that you're going to need. Okay. I don't know how I knew that. Uninsured. Did you say they let her drive home, Mark?
I wasn't there, so no comment, but that's what I heard. Someone showed up with a different vehicle and she drove it home, so.
Well, thanks for the update. I appreciate it.
Well, Mark, do we need any more bollards or any more protection for that or any of the other pump stations?
At that station, your general manager and I have already talked about it. I've already met with RBH, and we're going to lay out about 7 or 8 additional bollards. I'm going to bury them down about 4 feet. And then the city, in about 18 months or so, they said they should have that metal beam guardrail put back up. So between our bollards, I think I'll be able to get them in pretty quick, like 6, 7 months, 8 months, something like that. So we'll be done with that. That should protect our station. And then when we get when the city reinstalls the metal beam guardrail, I think that'll I'll say fortify us pretty well from any
Yeah,
future
okay.
damage.
Good.
Out of curiosity, the city put any of those bike lane bollards in that area?
No,
There are. Okay.
there are none.
Okay,
That would have been nice.
yeah, it would have been,
They wouldn't stop anything, though.
I don't know if it.
I don't know there's enough room for actually a bike lane and bollards in that area.
That's why I asked, yeah, sorry. Okay, your next item, please.
Okay. Next item, before you is for our Irvine and Harbor electrical improvements. I need you to do two separate action items tonight. The first action item will be to adopt Project 535 Irvine Harbor Pump Station electrical improvements as categorically exempt for CEQA, Section 15302, Class 2. And then the second item I'm going to be asking you for, and it's a separate or second action item, is to award a contract to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, Amtech Construction, in the amount of $133,333. The arc flash study work that we conducted about 15, 16, 17 months ago, something like that. My memory's getting a little fuzzy, but it determined that we needed electrical improvements to meet the fire and electrical code for those two stations out of the 5 stations that we studied. Harbor Pump Station basically needed to have undersized wiring and undersized electrical switches removed and then replaced with switches and wiring that's of the appropriate size. We've designed that. We've bid that work. And then the Irvine Pump Station, it needed to have electrical breakers and disconnect switches removed, because if you had operated them independently, we could have actually created an electrical explosion. The good news is Tony and Chris knew about the defect, and so they knew not to operate in a certain fashion. So we will be fixing that so that no matter who's in there and no matter how well they know the station or don't know the station, they'll be interlocked. So you can't actually create an explosion hazard once we get the new breakers and switches in there, interlock switches in there. So with that, I guess I'm ready to ask you for your first recommendation, but I guess I'll answer any questions you might have on this item.
Questions for Mark? All right, then we're looking again for two items.
Two separate items, yes.
The first is to adopt Project 35 as categorically exempt for the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second that motion. Discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Director Wiltshire,
Aye.
Secretary Perry,
Yes.
Vice President Uten,
Yes,
President Schaefer.
Yes.
4 ayes, no nays, motion carries.
So item 1 has been approved. Then item 2, I'll move to award contract to Amtech Construction in the amount of $133,333.
I'll second.
I'll move for approval.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Nicole seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Director Wiltshire,
Aye.
Secretary Perry,
Yes.
Vice President Uten,
here, yes.
President Schaefer.
Yes.
4 ayes, no nays, motion
Get
carries.
to 133,333. Round it up to 35. Round it down,
There you go, even better.
even better. All right. Anything else for us this evening, Mark?
No, sir, thank you.
By the way, just a note of appreciation for your presentation last Friday with the city and the districts. I think they learned, so they were paying pretty close attention, especially the city. So good presentation last Friday, and appreciate what you guys put together to show them.
Thanks. I will say, I am very, very thankful that the city is really they stepped in to cooperate with us on this one, because
Yeah.
they let me give them piecemeal for example, the traffic control plan to them. We got a lot of stuff done and without actually having a contractor on board. and they wouldn't give us the actual permit till I got the contractor on board, but we piecemealed everything together. It all worked, and we, like I said, 9 weeks is, I'm really pleased with how it came out.
Good.
So thank you again.
Everybody benefited, and that's the key part of it, I think. So, thanks again. All right, Mr. Davis, you're on board, bud.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members. This is your quarterly review of your investment portfolio. In the markets today, the Dow closed at 44,838, which was down 64 on the day. Year to date, it's up 2178. When we spoke 3 months ago, it was down 2,400. Now it's up 21. So the seesaw in the markets continues. Inflation news, the June, most recent inflation numbers for June of 25 is at 2.7%. That's gone up each of the last 3 months a little bit. There's big economic news that's due out this week with tariff deals that have been made and plan to be discussions planned to occur. Jobs report is out this week. Consumer confidence is out. Corporate earnings is out, and most importantly, the Fed meets later this week to decide on interest rates. There's lots of pressure on to have a cut in those interest rates, but the inflation is going in the opposite direction of what they're wanting to see done. From your portfolio standpoint, portfolio is earning 3.068%. That's up 100 basis points since the beginning of the fiscal year. The rate is up really due to more short-term investments that we've had. Also, we are 5 years post COVID when the pandemic had happened. And at that time, we had purchased several securities that were 5-year securities that were incredibly low rates. Those are starting to mature now, and we're able to reinvest those different. For example, we had an agency security that was earning us 0.75% for the last 5 years, and it was replaced at 4.25%. So a nice
Wow.
thing. So these securities falling off during the times of COVID are going to start helping out the portfolio. From a class update, we currently have 4.77 million in class. Class has just crossed the $2 billion mark in their investments. If you recall, when we first joined class in October of 23, there was only 156 million that they had under investment. Now they're at just over 2 billion. That's all I have today. This is an action item. I'm available for any questions that you may have.
Well, I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I had reviewed the report and asked Scott, one of the items is the asset replacement fund, and it's 3.3 million plus. And so I asked him, it seemed like a lot of money in that fund. So he and I were talking about an outline or an estimate of what types of projects he foresees, the need for that amount of money. Seemed like a lot of money.
Did you
Anyway.
respond? Okay, study session. Okay. I think that's an important part. I like Bob's approach. Because we could use that money for other projects, possibly.
Maybe, yeah.
That's our point, yeah.
That number's coming from the wastewater fund, right, Bob?
Well,
That
it's a fund that accumulates each year, and it's for things like big purchases and little, but the big purchases are, $750,000 for the Vector truck.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if staff envisions or what the envisioned potential for that amount of money.
Okay. Good. All right, then we'll need a motion to accept the quarterly investment report.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Dr. Wiltshire,
Aye.
Secretary Perry,
Yes.
Vice President Uten,
Yes,
President Schaefer.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay, that takes us to the painful part of the meeting. The attorney's report. And I don't mean that it's painful. It's not painful because it's you doing it, counselor. It's the subject matter that we have to talk about that's painful.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying.
Let me shift feet in my mouth for just a second here.
Thanks, Mark. Well, as you know, Director Arlene Schaefer has given notice that she intends to retire from the board effective August 1, 2025. And that leaves the board with the decision to make whether to appoint by this board or go to election. And if you do not go to an election under the government code, the board of supervisors can then appoint. So you have 60 days of August 1 to make an appointment yourself. And if you do that, you might want to have a process for doing it. You've done this before. And Scott has provided some details on what you did the last time. If you do that, you have the 60 days. If you do not do that, then the Board of Supervisors will step in and they'll make an appointment for you, possibly. The other alternative is to go to an election, and cost of an election is, as you can see, approximately $500,000. So if that's your desire, there's a price tag for it. So those are your basic decisions. You'll probably want to, give direction to staff as to work it up for you, as to if there's going to be a process, and maybe use a study session to try and get a head start on things, or eventually at a regular meeting, take an appointment.
Just a curiosity item, because the seat will be vacated or could be vacated. No, not vacated. I'm mixing my terms up.
Resign.
The seat is up for reelection in roughly a year and a couple months. We do not have the option of letting it go till the next election because of the 60 days, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I shortened the staff report. There's provisions in there about when the election occurs and
Yeah.
things you can do, but
Okay.
yeah, basically you do not have that option.
So we really only have two options at this point. Okay, I just want to make sure that's clear. I know the previous time that we had to do this, we sent out a notice calling for candidates, right? And do you remember how long we gave the candidates to respond? I didn't see that in here, or did I miss it?
We have to do it 15 days before you make an appointment. So it's well before 15 days. We'll make the notice, we'll send out notice inviting people to apply.
And you plan to do that after the study session, after we talk about it?
Well,
Or do we need to do
that?
You can do it too. We can do
I
it
would-
after
I would have
today.
to do it
You just
tonight.
give us direction.
I was gonna get there. I mean, essentially, the fact that we only have the two options, we can make a determination tonight of how we're gonna fill it.
Yes, and then we're just seeking some direction from the board, the parameters. Like, that's where we gave some information, what you did in 2013. If you want to
Okay.
do exactly the same thing, we can do that. And then you need to set a special meeting date where you'll interview the applicants in a public setting.
That's what I'd like to do is move for appointment.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Don't disagree at
Yeah.
all. Bob, is that,
No, that's fine. I think that's the appropriate way to go.
so the three of us have had the opportunity to do this. Are you clear on the process and
Yes.
everything you're comfortable with? Okay.
My recommendation is we're going to go with appointment. We start notifying people tomorrow if we can, as early as tomorrow. I mean, have to do it for 3 weeks, right? You have to announce that it's open. It's District 5, is that correct? Right. So just those people from District 5 can apply. And then after the 3 weeks, then we set up a time where they come in and meet, and we did it last time with one person would come into the room and we would discuss items with them. And then they would leave and the next person would come in. And I'm not sure how many people are in the District 5 that are interested, so.
That was one of my questions. It seemed to me, Alan, that when we did that process previously, the candidates could sit in and listen to everybody.
No, they didn't.
Go ahead.
Sure they can. They're being courteous by
Oh,
being
it's-
outside. Yeah,
oh,
they're,
They can.
they're,
Nobody did. If you
Nobody-
nobody does, but they would have the right to do that. That's a public, it's a public interview.
That's- I want to
Okay.
make sure we do. that.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that, because last time they just left.
They all left. I mean, they did their interviews and then we had their written responses. And then we as a panel interviewed each candidate. So if we start the process now, 15 days from tomorrow, we have to, that's the deadline. Is that right?
The 15 days is just a notice
I think,
just on a board. It's a legal requirement. It's not, it doesn't govern anything except you have to at least post that notice 15 days before you make the appointment. But nobody's suggesting you could do this in 15 days.
Right.
Okay.
You need to have a special meeting before October 1st. Because
I
after
remember
that's
you
60
telling me
days.
that.
That's the 60 days. So we're seeking direction is establish, what day do you want to have that special meeting? It'd be great if you can establish it today. You don't have to, District Council Burns said, we can talk about it at a study session if we want to. But if you could establish a special meeting today, and also the criteria, once we start noticing, send a notice, what do you want us to put in that notice? Do you want the candidates to submit a statement of qualifications like you did last time? Do you want them to submit a resume? There was a couple of questions you had them ask. You want those same questions to answer. That's the kind of information we need from the board. What do you want us to do?
I know basically what you outlined for this and what we did previously. I think everything we did before, I'm comfortable with doing it again, just duplicating the same. It seemed to work.
Is that the same as Ellen's recommendation here? Statement of qualifications, resume, and then
Yes.
just those two
Yes.
questions?
Yeah.
That's what we did in 2013.
Sound okay?
Timing wise, if we did that 15 days, do you think we could have the people come in that are interested like the first week of September? Would that fall into the time frame?
Yeah, if you want to establish a
Well,
board
because I'm
meeting-
going to be gone for like 3 weeks, the next 3 weeks. So I was hoping that we could do it around that,
September?
like the first week of September.
If you wanted to establish a special meeting, first week of September, that
I mean,
should,
that's just my, I haven't talked to anybody about it, but I thought that would fall into the guidelines of the time requirements.
yeah,
We would
I agree.
conduct interviews the first week of September.
so let's throw some dates out. What's
So we have September 1st through the 5th.
Labor Day?
The, is the
Be
first.
somewhere during that
or is
week.
it-
We've got Labor Day in there too.
That's the first,
So you have the 2nd through the 4th or the 5th.
that'd be my recommendation, because I'm leaving like on the 8th, which is the Monday.
So is there a particular date then? Any second, third, fourth? You just
We do have our study session on the 9th. So if you,
I'm gonna be gone.
No, the 9th of September, Art.
I'll be gone on the 9th of September.
Oh,
Would you-
okay.
do that on the
But
2nd.
I'm not sure. I think I'm leaving on the 9th, but I'm not sure what time of the day, but
want to do like on September, the day after Labor Day, September 2nd? Or
yeah, I
something?
think that would be good if we could. September 2nd or 3rd.
What time?
Oh, okay.
Nicole, how about your time frame?
I'm open on the 2nd.
Dr. Uden, is the 2nd of September okay for you?
Yes,
You want to do an evening meeting or morning? Probably evening might be better for candidates. We'll be able to-
Possibly.
At that meeting, we will be interviewing the candidates. Is that correct? Then I would say we do. It doesn't matter to me.
How about 4:30?
Same as the board meeting time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Tuesday, September 2nd. Now, how is the notification disseminated? What means?
We have to put in a newspaper. We have to put in a newspaper with social media. Usually the means, so.
Again, when we did this 12 years ago or whenever it was, the newspaper was far more relevant. It's
Still
not.
wanted, I think the law still requires us to put in the newspaper.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, that's fine. I don't. The
It has to be
register,
three separate places too, right? Yeah.
It will be.
Well, we could use our website and, I think later, I thought later in the meeting, we had data on our social media presence. Or I saw that somewhere.
Yes.
So social media, website, Orange County Register, Daily Pilot, those are.
And I think we also posted a physical copy at the community center as well.
I would also request or ask if we notify the city through the city's social media reaches a lot more
Yeah.
people than we do.
Yep.
If they can help and give that.
What's that?
We have that clear. And the notification or the process will start tomorrow with the deadline essentially for people to get stuff back to us. What date?
It will be the Friday, the Thursday before.
So August 30,
Oh, a conference.
August 29th.
August 28th. Headquarters is closed on the 29th.
And let's do it on the 28th.
28th.
Call. Okay, that gives candidates essentially a month
Yeah, because
to process this. That should be sufficient, I think. Okay. Alan, does that meet everything we're supposed to do?
Would you like to put that in the form of a motion?
Yeah, happy to. I think, go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we start advertising for the opening tomorrow for 3 weeks, and then have the date that has to be back to us by the week before. The second would be, well, it'll be the 28th.
August 28th.
August 28th, and then we will meet and decide on the 2nd of September
At 4:30.
at 4:30.
And subsumed within all of that detail is the fact that we're going for an appointment and not an election.
Yeah, it's an appointment.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, everybody got that? Bob?
Is it appropriate to wait until Arlene, after August 1st? Or does it make any difference?
Well, there's no vacancy until Arlene actually does resign.
yeah.
We're accepting applications now for an intended opening.
Okay, got it.
It's a good point.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
I thought about that myself.
All right, we have a motion for the process. I'm sorry, Alan, I forgot. We haven't officially accepted her resignation yet. Don't we have to have a motion to do that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been on other
You can
boards.
resign whether you accept it or not.
I've been on other boards where they wouldn't do anything until they accept
It's a
it.
tidy way of doing things, but if you chose not to accept it, she'd still resign.
She'd still resign. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the process for appointment to fill the vacancy created by the retirement of Director Schaefer.
Was there a second?
I made the motion and I
I'll
think
second it. You got it. All right, roll call, please.
Director Wiltshire,
Aye.
Secretary Barry,
yes.
Vice President Uten,
Yes,
President Schaefer.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Before we finish with the subject of Director Schaefer, when are we gonna announce about our reception or whatever we're doing?
We're currently awaiting a time confirmation from Director Schaefer. So once we hear that, then we'll send something out.
But that date is secure.
August 19th,
August 19th.
correct?
And I guess through the same channels that we process the appointment, we can announce that
Yes.
factor. All right, that takes us to meetings. Before we do meetings, just a general reminder that when you submit this is for all the four of us, when you submit your compensation report that you do every month, Make sure that if you attend a meeting, that you either give us some kind of report at this meeting, at the board meeting, or I think as Art does,
In
in
writing.
writing. I know I've been guilty of that, so I will fill that in for next month. But make sure you give just a brief recap about what your meeting you attended, and what the content was and where and things like that. So with that, report from the Orange County Sanitation District.
Well, I
Um,
attended for Bob. It's Bob's
Yeah.
application. Okay, and they always send out a talking points thing, and there's only three things that affect Costa Mesa. They have a Citizens Academy starting, taking applications right now. It's a fourth season for the Academy attendees. We'll get a behind the scenes look at the outstanding of one of the largest resource recovery facilities in the country. And they have a thing here where it's a website where you can sign up. I can give that to Nolani when I finish. Then part of the meeting was they recognized three members that had 30 years experience with the district, and one of them was the general manager, Rob Thompson. So I thought you would have liked this, Bob. They had about a 20-minute presentation about Rob and his background, and he's the current manager now, and where he started from the beginning and how he got to the top. It was really nice.
Did they mention that I hired him?
I knew you were gonna ask that. I just had this sneaky feeling you were,
No.
you were
No,
gonna do that.
They didn't mention that, but it was
Yeah.
a good presentation. And then the only thing that affects Costa Mesa is the construction update in Costa Mesa, the construction on the rehabilitation of the gravity sewer line along 405 and on Airway Avenue Airport Loop Drive. The project is going to be completed by the end of the year. So the rest of the things are about the different cities that are being affected by the Orange County sand. So I attended that meeting. The meeting was relatively, it takes like an hour to go through it. Basically, it's a lot shorter because all of the individuals committees meet prior to this meeting and take care of all their business. And then most of them are just approvals of the business that was taken.
With that many board members, it takes an hour to take a vote, I think, probably.
Well, no, vote goes fast. Well, we had a person online also, so every vote had to be by roll call. That took forever.
Oh,
There's
oh,
30 members, so. So I represented Bob at that meeting.
thank you.
SARFA, anything from SARFA?
No, there was no, they are dark usually every year at this time for 1 month.
Independent special districts. I did attend the meeting with Arlene's obviously not going to report on it. I think the biggest thing that we talked about at ISDOC was the fact that there is no quarterly meeting this month. They were having logistical issues at the water district office over there. And I think they had a problem with the speaker, but nobody admitted that. So they dispensed with the quarterly meeting next week, and they will be meeting instead in October. So, yeah, I think you all got that. CSDA, you've taken care of everybody except for me for the conference, so we're all set on that. Are they staying at the Marriott? I get to stay at the Portola. Yeah, good.
Good, thanks.
So with the conference being that last week of August, what's the date for the board meeting? The Monday previous? Does that sound right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? What-
Yeah, so the conference is the last week
Right.
of August. So we will be moving the board meeting up until August 18th.
All right, thank you.
SDRMA, we have a board meeting next week, so I'll be giving a report to you after that. And I am attending a virtual meeting tomorrow for the Special District Reinsurance Group, which I'm the chairman of the board of. The meeting's actually in Salt Lake City. And normally I would fly up to Salt Lake City, have this 20-minute meeting and then fly home. I thought that was a little silly, so I'll be doing it virtually. You ever flown into Salt Lake City? It's,
Yes.
it is the worst. I mean, there's more turbulence going into Salt Lake City and they sort of milk it. You know, they go all the way across. It's horrible. It's horrible. Waco, I attended Waco. I think several of us attended Waco. And that's all I have. Any other meetings to report on?
Yeah, I went to the liaison committee meeting and Visa Water made a presentation about all of their community outreach that they're doing with their customers. And also the city, I think it was the city, talked about a proposal for adding a dog park or at least a dog run into Lindbergh Park, which I don't support.
That's the first, I'm glad you brought that up because that was the first time I'd heard of
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be good at all.
that.
That wasn't approved yet.
Right.
Just somebody suggested it.
Yeah.
It's going for approval for somewhere else. Like it didn't totally die.
No, it
The
didn't.
Parks and Recreation Committee would normally look at that first. And when I was on the parks, we did that first. I don't know. They have a big enough dog park, it seems. I don't have a dog, so I don't have any judgment on it. Okay, any other meetings?
I submitted mine.
Great. No old or new business. Oral communications and director comments. You know, I was gonna make some comments about you stole my thunder. And you did a wonderful job of stealing thunder. Knowing Arlene for all these years, it's funny, obviously sharing a last name. Everybody's always assumed that Arlene and I,
Yeah.
people would say, was Arlene your mother? And that would upset her to no end. So she finally convinced me that if anybody said anything, I had to say that we were cousins. But she worked alongside my dad and we talk about pioneers and people who made such a big impact on this city from the earliest days. There's a couple of, Arlene Schaefer, a couple of Mary Hornbuckle and other names are escaping me, but not only did she work so hard with the city and here, she was in charge of the chamber for so many years. And Arlene will be sorely missed. You kind of get used to Arlene. You can't, it's hard sometimes, but you got to get used to Arlene, right? And we'll have more to say on the 19th, but she'll be missed.
Why we're,
Yeah,
Hey, Bob.
I think Arlene was the last person that we appointed to the board. And I believe she she recommended the investment company Class, I believe, which we use now quite extensively.
She, not only did she represent us so well, she was a huge ambassador for CSD, the Special Districts Association. I mean, I don't know how many meetings across the state I've been to, and people have said to me, "Oh, are you related to Arlene?" And it's kind of an honor to be related to her. So she represents things very well. That's for sure.
okay, I have a question on the 19th. Are we working on an agenda right now or is that in the planning?
And she's definitely gonna be great. Okay, anything else? Any other comments? Staff, anything from anybody? All right. Then if nothing else, I will adjourn the meeting to the August 18th meeting. Thank you all. Thanks for your reports.
Thank you.
Help.